Welcome to Lion Podcast. Like it or not, the livest show in the O. We're ready to go. I got the good guys gang. To my right, what's up, OGB?
What's up, everybody in Fuck China?
To my left, it's Clemme.
Good morning.
To my left, Lil O, what's up?
I'm back.
And I'm your host, Mr. Tokes. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show, everybody. We missed your face. It's a Corona 7, not so heaven. We got a juicy show for you. We got a lot of interesting shit to cover. We're going to get right into it. Inspired or not, it's not about perfect. It's about effort. And when you bring that effort every single day, that's where transformation happens. That's how change occurs. Jillian Michaels, man. That's the chick from Biggest Loser, right?
Yeah, we stuck on this Biggest Loser.
I know, dude. We hitting this some Biggest Loser twice in a row.
Coming full circle.
Yeah.
Yes. Jillian Michaels, she's a bad lady, though.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
She a bad lady.
She'll climb a hill like a mother.
Little foxy.
Hello.
Foxy.
Hello, kitten.
How's everybody fucking doing today, man?
Good.
Awesome, dog.
I'm solid.
Good.
Everybody good?
Yes.
Everybody looking sexy today.
Feeling good.
You got a tropical shirt on, Clemmy, man. You feeling tropical today?
Well, woke up trying to bring some sunshine in my own life.
Some Miami
welcome,
Vice.
welcome back, oh.
What's up, fam?
Jenny from the block.
Yeah.
That's my boo, son.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. So that's awesome. Well, I guess we're gonna get right into the show. So the juice, as we were talking about before, I always talk about respecting the path because we all walk a very different path from one another. Well, what this documentary was demonstrating, the Out of the Shadows documentary, was how the content we consume is very much a part of who we are. And according to them, it's done intentionally. The one thing we consume more than content is the air we breathe. Mm-hmm. We think about the quality of the air we breathe, yet we hardly question the content we consume. And who controls the content? Our government. We've just never paid attention. So their question to us is, if they were deceiving us with the stories they tell us, if they were manipulating us, would we even be able to recognize it or distinguish the difference?
Probably not.
Nah, it'd be hard. It'd be all what you believe and what you hear. You know what I mean? It'll be a half empty if you're like pushing away from it, and then half full if you're just, wow, is this real what they're telling me, or are they bringing me full information? Can I believe them?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
do you think that the question is whether we believe if we're being controlled or not, or susceptible to being controlled? I don't think you can't control 100% of the population. I think some people will be exempt or immune. Maybe not to all levels,
Yeah.
but to a lot of it.
But that's what I'm saying, because with the information coming out, it's still going to be, Clemmy could see it one way, you could see it one way.
Let's take this coronavirus, for example. We have no fucking idea.
Nope.
Zero.
You know? I mean,
And I think that's part of the messaging, too.
and I think the more populated we get, the harder it is to distinguish the difference. But but everybody has good points, man. Some people might be, because I only know what I know. I don't know what the next person knows. And I know there's some highly intelligent motherfuckers, and I'm not highly intelligent, so.
Because it's even shitty now with news. Because you always hear people coming out. Fox has this type of news, and
Right.
MSNBC has
This
type of news. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, I think the level of control is exemplified by how caught up these people are in this shit.
Yeah,
I
You
can
know,
see that.
how sucked in are they? That's more control they have. You know,
That's true, too.
And they're the people that stepping back saying that ain't buying it. You know, those are the ones that are least amount of control.
I just like to be cool with the motherfucker who doesn't believe him, but still goes to work every day, Monday through Friday. Like, fuck Steve, but hey, yo,
Hey, what's up,
I'm gonna go report this though. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck about it.
Oh, shit.
Every single time, that shit will be so good, dude.
So this all came about when this stunt dude by the name of Mike Smith, that's how he knows he's not getting found, who was,
Yeah, 2 first names.
yeah, that's a fucking name.
Be anybody.
Yeah. By the name of Mike Smith, who was working in Hollywood the past 28 years, gets hurt really bad doing a stunt. He fractured his L2 vertebrae, paralyzed from waist down. Now, Mike Smith was a dope motherfucker, dude. This guy, he worked with every kind of star in Hollywood. I mean, you name it. If any star you could think of, he was there. And he basically said, man, look, I like being a stuntman because, you know, I don't have to be the actor. Kind of the actor is exactly that. They're just an actor. Dude, I'm actually doing
the
those
part.
stunts.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
that's what he
Batman.
He
found.
really was
That's
like
what he-
Spider-Man and Batman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. That was his adrenaline rush. It was like, I am that. Like you're acting, I'm doing the action.
Son.
Yeah. And I think that's dope because he inspired me when he said that shit. I was like, that's true. He's fucking the one jumping around like Spider-Man
What's
and
up,
doing all
Bruce
that.
Wayne? You Bruce Wayne.
Fucking
He's
Cliff
really
Booth.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, he said he would go into these freaking places and he'd look around, like see Val Kilmer and everybody, and be like, "What am I doing here? Like, how did I get here?" You know what I mean? And that's cool as hell, man. That's an awesome reality.
So
Also starting off at the bottom. Working your way up.
Very
though.
fulfilling.
Fucking amazing.
So he gets fucked up and his L2 vertebrae, paralyzed waist down and shit, and his life takes a little change. So he goes to this pelvic floor therapist. She mentions to him she feels like he's got some real dark energy and dark spirits over him. In the middle of a therapy one day, it was just one of his therapies. So she asked him if she could pray over him. Mike, he at the time wasn't a believer. So he's like, sure, whatever. This lady's crazy, but do your thing, So he continues to go to therapy for months, and every so often she would pray over him, So she quoted, I was kind of disgusted by his personality because he was all about himself and money, and I thought the Lord had a lot of work to do with him in terms of humility. He made it very clear that he thought I was crazy, but he let me pray anyway. So that was basically the beginning of that. So after his experience with the pelvic floor therapist, he read the things that she showed him, because they developed a relationship over the time, and was interested enough to read some more. So as he noticed in some of the articles and things he was reading, he recalled seeing artwork and statues and all this shit at celebrity parties he would attend in Hollywood and all over, but it wasn't Jesus stuff that he was recognizing. It was a real Luciferian shit and other shit that mimicked some of the cult material that he was reading about and the studies he was doing. So he had an oh shit moment, and he claimed that was a moment of his awakening. And he says that he has actual realization and had fear come over him like never before because he realized he had been fooled for a long time, and it wasn't the first time. And it was the first time he had to question his own reality, not just in a physical sense, but in a mental sense, because, and a career sense too, because, his whole career was fucked up. So professionally, he wasn't the same either. Everything he knew about his career, he was starting to question and look at it a different way.
Major setback too.
Major setback, dude. Think about that, dude. You're balling the fuck out,
and
dude.
you're not paying attention to none of those.
You're a stunt
signs.
guy
You
too.
just-
Right.
You're just there on set. You're just doing your thing.
Right.
All this imagery going past you, and you don't see none of it. You're like, yeah.
You know what just came to my head? Bo Jackson, dog.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like a freak injury.
Yeah.
Like, just
And just took him out all the way off his
yeah,
game.
and it was just like something that changed Bo's life. Just like this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo was the dude.
But that dude, imagine like he's saying he at Val Kemp, whoever house, we're not gonna put a name out there.
Yeah.
But you're at some dude's house, and you see some weird, artwork on the wall, and you like, well, what is that?
Well, it's not just that, but he was in multiple parties all throughout his career, and he
Right.
never really paid attention. He's like, when you're going to take a piss and shit, you walk by a Lucifer thing, you're not paying attention to it. You kind of glance at it
That
like,
goat
oh,
look weird, man.
somebody in this bitch is weird, but whatever.
Hey, that motherfucker don't look like Billy the Goat.
Yeah, them horns. Them horns
Them
don't look
horns
like
a little
Billy.
different.
Yeah,
a
you
little different.
definitely ain't no Billy Lucifer. So he started questioning his career in Hollywood and from a different perspective. So
You realize he was in houses of Satan. That is the fear. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, damn.
Yeah, that shit hit him.
I got to get out of here
different.
now.
Well, you're right, Mike, because that's why he had that fucking awakening. He was like, "Holy shit, have I been missing this the whole time?" Because because his whole life, when you're a stunt guy, I can imagine when you're a stunt guy for 28 years working with all those big names and shit, and like the pelvic floor therapist mentioned that he's kind of like all about himself. You're living so fast, and you don't really have time to examine any fucking thing else. And why even examine it? I'm not looking at no art.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Especially
Unless
you
I'm
got
into art.
You got all the Ace of Spades coming to you,
Yeah.
drawing
Right,
your ass off.
chilling.
You're like,
Right.
oh man, that's Lucifer. Oh, but that's a bad chick right there.
Yeah.
Right. So so he got off social media and he made an anonymous account, started reading blogs, looking at articles, books, videos online, just an all-out search for the truth, kind of. And as he conducted his research, he learned there's a very small group of people that influence all the companies that we watch. They used to call them the Big Six, but now Disney just bought Fox. Disney controls Marvel. Disney owns Lucas Studios. So that alone is a massive audience. Yeah, it's essentially all of what we watch.
And radio here locally, it's all owned by Cox Media. Like all the stations.
Yeah.
One
Monopoly.
entity.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's essentially all we watch.
Yeah.
When you look at it like that. It's everything. So you feel like you have choices, but you don't, is what they're telling us. And who's controlling the content on the channels is basically what the documentary is trying to highlight.
Right.
You know? So now I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I wasn't sold on shit. I didn't even know what they were trying to sell me. You know what I mean? So I was kind of just like, all right, fuck it. But I was like, I'll pay attention to a little bit more. Then the Hollywood hack came into play. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So then the Hollywood hack happened. So Sony got hacked, and Michael, the stunt guy, worked at Sony. So he had to get LifeLock as a result of this.
He had to get the product.
Yeah, because he was working at Sony. So he was one of the guys that his information got fucking hacked. So he had to get LifeLock as a result. So it made him curious about what was happening. So he looks into the shit. And, well, the narrative put out in the public was Seth Rogen and James Franco made a movie about North Korea, and North Korea got mad. So they were going to hack Sony to teach them a lesson. Then they hacked emails and released them. So,
Bro, we were about to go to war for that movie, dude.
yeah.
That shit got so intense.
So
For if you think about it over a movie, it was just propaganda basically.
No, because it was a little.
But
I get it though.
Yeah.
It's as much as me caring for Trump. How people go crazy with the hats and the F you. That's my president. I can see China wilding out because they're talking like they're about to make fun of him. You know what I'm saying? And doing all that shit.
Well, that just tells you how crazy he is, dude. His ego's is like you can't even make a movie about somebody.
But it's not even. It's that and the propaganda and it's the optics. It's how it looks. So to North Korean people, they look weak to Americans because you got these dudes.
And Seth Rogen and Franco are very interesting, funny, so they can make you feel some sort of way. It's like that. It's like they got roasted, man. If you got them, then you're gonna get roasted in your movie. If it's a comedy and Franco and Rogen are in that shit, chances are they're gonna roast you, man. And whatever they're making fun of, it's gonna be in a good way. So he looks into the WikiLeaks documents and found that the heads of their biggest movie studios in America were in direct communication with very important people from the government. And this didn't surprise him. He figured, hey, they probably know each other, friends or some shit, or maybe there's something more to it. So that was kind of like the roadblock for him. He didn't know anybody that could answer those questions, so that's kind of where he came to that. So then he gets the idea to reach out to the best person he could think of at the time, which was whistleblower CIA agent Kevin Shipp. Do any of you guys know Kevin Shipp? He's a whistleblower from a little bit ago, who he read about a lot and was watching online. The dude served in multiple capacities in the CIA during his tenure, so he's definitely dude. What Kevin highlighted to Mike was there's an OSS memo where they were doing a study of motion pictures in America as means of psychological warfare. And it goes all the way back to pre-1947 when the U.S. intelligence was was using motion pictures to alter the thinking of Americans in the United States. So that's kind of what he learned during the Hollywood Act. And he said you could find all this shit on the under the Freedom of Information Act under the documents that are provided for it. So it's all there. You just got to look for it. But they've been doing that shit since pre-1947. Like, it was their main thing to say, hey, man, this is how we're going to alter the minds and kind of make them. They probably thought back then, holy shit, we're growing population. They're smart. They're CIA. Right. So they're like, dude, we gotta make sure that we get these motherfuckers in order because we're not going to stop growing.
Nope.
And what did you say about freedom earlier, Mike? It's a way to equalize level out, balance out the freedom because they're like, oh, shit.
Well, they're
got
like,
too much freedom.
We gave away too much freedom here.
Yeah.
We got to control this shit.
So, like, and that does make sense.
Y'all motherfuckers got too much rights.
Gotta stop it.
Whoa. Back up, buddy.
Yeah,
too much right is wrong. So
Giving away the farm.
So now I'm still not sold on shit. Hell, I'm barely interested, but it's interesting enough to the point where I'm going for the ride. So I'm like, all right, let's check
check
into
this
this
out.
shit.
You get in the car.
Right. So then they go on to talk about Alan Dulles, former CIA director that groomed and recruited Ian Fleming and Dulles.
James Bond.
Yep, James Bond. And Dulles and the CIA actually helped Fleming write his books and paint the CIA in a very favorable light.
It does. If you think about
It does what?
It's all
it,
true.
does. If you think about it, I just thought about that. This is my first time hearing this. So.
Right. Because you didn't do your homework, but that's cool.
But I mean, like,
He's like, I was supposed to watch
No,
that.
he skipped that chapter. You got the last chapter.
Oh, I love you, dog. But no. And according to Kevin Shipp, Dulles helped produce Thunderball. Remember that
Yeah,
movie?
oh yeah. I got it saved. I watched that shit. I love James
To
Bond.
make the
Racing.
CIA agents look honorable and like cool people.
Felix Leiter.
Right. So like they were so the CIA actually helped write books and write the script for that movie, Thunderball.
That's where they got me. They got
That's-
the control through James Bond. That's how they got me.
Bro, Thunderball and
so
Bond.
everybody got
So
a flavor,
Mike's-
Mike.
I'll tell you where I got hooked.
Everybody got a flavor.
Hey, you know what? That's
What?
funny he says that because that's Mike's hook. Mike's out. We're still in the water.
Yeah.
We're still in the water
I'm
right
still
now.
Not for long.
I'm still swimming.
Not for long. No, where'd they get you? You didn't.
Oh, I'll show you.
right.
Dude, they got me. It won't be long. So Mockingbird comes into play, and Kevin Shipp tells this guy, Mike, stunt guy Mike, about Mockingbird. And William J. Casey said, CIA's Operation Mockingbird, we'll know our and this is a quote, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. It's like
Yeah,
straight up.
when they hit that nail on the head, I'll be like, all right, we did something.
Holy shit! Like that's right there in front of you.
Sound like we there.
So Kevin,
Yeah, I was
Shipp-
gonna say we're about to cross that finish line.
we're
So
very
so
close
this
if we're not
Mockingbird
there.
thing was very interesting too, and this is basically where I'm almost on the bus too. Kevin Shipp, the whistleblower, says there is no question that the Mockingbird is real. It started out paying journalists and major media's prize-winning journalists to print fake stories that the CIA would wanted in the press and fake interviews. And it was revealed in the church committee. After the church committee hearings, the CIA destroyed all the files, which is what they do. George H.W. Bush came out and finally made a statement about the Mockingbird. He said, we're going to officially stop the Mockingbird program, but the CIA will no longer pay journalists to write stories. From now on, the program is voluntary, which means the Mockingbird continues to today. It's just a smooth way to say, hey, man, we're not going to pay him no more, but we're
they're
going to pay him
washing their
behind your
hands.
back.
Yeah, they're washing their hands of it. Like,
Right.
hey,
We're
we
only-
ain't got nothing to do with it. We, as a government, don't have nothing to do with this.
Right.
Somebody else does.
Right. We're not going to pay them.
Yeah.
But when they
Somebody else
volunteer,
is. Yeah.
but when somebody
They gonna get
volunteers,
broke
we'll
up.
pay them.
They'll
We're
get broke
paying
up.
somebody to pay them.
And you won't know about it this time.
Yeah, somebody will get paid.
So he goes on to say, when's the last time you seen mainstream media outlet do a serious investigative report on the actions of the CIA?
Never.
You never, and there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? So that's, and then there is something, here's another quote. This is Harry Truman.
Geraldo Rivera was going to, but he
Got beat up.
they got to him.
In 1963,
That's out them cats jumping.
Harry Truman, there is something about the way the CIA has been functioning that is casting a shadow on our historic position of freedom, and I feel we need to correct it. So that was Harry Truman in 1963 that said that right there. So at this point, it's getting pretty fucking juicy. I'm going, okay, I didn't really know this stuff. That's pretty cool, but it's not even close to as juicy as
That
this
was
shit's about
that
to
was
get.
pre what's that?
63 was pre-Hoover.
McCarthy hearings and J. Edgar Hoover. That was pre-Hoover.
That was
yeah,
pre-Hoover.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pre-Hoover.
So he called that shit.
Yeah, Hoover came in. And
I like
changed
how
the
that
game.
sounds, pre-Hoover.
Yeah, but real talk, Hoover changed. Like right now, the way we look at everything is a product of.
See,
how
it was
seen
Hoover,
America.
McNamara, and that whole
Yeah.
Gulf of Tonkin thing you're going to talk about. That whole fake ass thing that started Vietnam.
So Senator Moynihan proposed
So
a
true.
bill to dismantle the CIA, introduced it twice. The second time was in 1995. Now, Clemmy, ironically enough, 1 year later, 1996, the CIA established the Entertainment Liaison Office, which was specifically penetrated into Hollywood, and Chase Brandon was a 35-year CIA guy, was co-writing scripts for shit like The Recruit, for example.
Well, they
Remember The
realize how
Recruit?
much Hollywood
Yes.
is dictating society. Society is following Hollywood, so why not get in there?
Right. That's how I looked at that. So when The Office goes up in Hollywood, Stuntman Mike really gets to thinking, damn, this shit is real. So he starts asking around if anybody else is noticing the shit that he's noticing. So one of his old colleagues, Brad Martin, who came up a similar history as Mike in the stuntman business, and Brad had his suspicions for a while. Brad enlightened Mike to how the CIA helped Disney buy up all the swampland in Florida. And it was because General William J. Donovan was one of the Disney lawyers, and he served in World War II military intelligence, and he knew how to keep a secret, is what they said. So, and they used several different companies to buy these properties. None with Disney's name to acquire all those properties. So they bought up all the swampland, dude. They've been plotting this shit.
Clemmy, you look surprised. You know Disney's evil.
Hey man,
You didn't know Mickey Mouse a gangster?
I knew that, but I be like,
You got
every
horns.
time we peel an onion of Disney, man, it makes you sad.
See, that's one of those. That's one of those things. They've made it to where everybody
you be
just
so
overlooks that shit. We know it.
Yeah,
we know
they,
evil.
they trap
But
you
but
at the
it's
theme
what-
park.
I'll be going to Animal Kingdom and shit.
Yeah, but it's like
I think that's it about my- Hey, like you said about
I'll be
Debo.
talking again.
it's mind control.
Yeah.
When this podcast is over, I'll be going to Disney. again.
So that's what started Brad down this rabbit hole of what does the CIA have to do with Disney? So he knew Washington, D.C. was definitely in Hollywood because he's seen documents with his own eyes of the DOD and the CIA writing to the studio heads, guiding them in certain fashions. He's already seen that because he was a stuntman, so he'd see the actual documents.
Because
Now,
you need young kids, like young boys, watching those movies that want to go to be a recruit.
right.
So you got to give it to them in such a way that they like, yeah, when I get that age, I want to go be a recruit.
Right. So now this is where I get fucked on this one, Mike. This is my hook.
This is where they get you.
Yeah, I'm out the pond after this one right here, dude.
It's Mary Poppins.
You're going in the skillet with me.
Yeah, for real, dude. Operation Paperclip. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Kevin Shipp, the whistleblower CIA guy. Now, this is a CIA guy, dude. You got to keep that in mind, man. He's telling you firsthand. This is
It's one
fucked
of them.
up.
It's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
He's telling you from McDonald's how to make the mac sauce. Listen to this motherfucker, bro. Listen to this fucking guy. He's giving you the ingredients, bro. You could open your fucking. You can open your McDougal's. Y'all remember McDougal's,
That is the greatest fucking
Yeah.
joke ever.
McDowell's.
bro?
Yeah,
No,
no,
not from
McDougal's.
what is it?
The
McDougal's
McDowell-
from Coming to America.
McDowell's.
Yeah, Coming to America. He's
McDowell's.
giving you the fucking.
McDowell's.
The Big Mick.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's serious though. This is a fucking.
So
That's like.
glow.
I also
Yeah,
take.
so glow.
Not only do you take in consideration that it's the CIA that he left, but it's the CIA that he left. Like you're a dead man walking.
How's he still
if you-
alive?
Right.
Has he got personal bodyguards?
Right. Well,
Something.
I think that he served so long. It's a respect thing, dude. Like I don't know. I gave that some thought though, Mike.
Or-
I was like, why did they
Or if
fucking off
once you
this
put
guy?
yourself in a spotlight now, if you do disappear,
too
you're
obvious.
too high profile.
But-
Too obvious.
Tell Epstein that.
But think about it. Is he
Well,
really?
Epstein wasn't
Hey,
the man though.
Is
he had
he
too
really-
many motherfuckers.
Is he really debunking anything?
Kevin ain't fucking
Everybody
kids.
know Disney
No,
crazy.
but then again, you think.
But he
you
gives
would
you
just have
the
to.
background. On
Well,
it.
the
Well, I'm just
CIA
thinking
researchers have determined that's good. That's good television.
That's what I'm saying. They have
I was just thinking
the
of timeline. I was just
Yeah.
thinking of timeline. Like they didn't give a fuck. Like this he's pissing in the wind. This guy, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's all.
So Operation
That's true,
Paperclip comes about. Okay, now I didn't know about this shit.
Bruh, Nazis, bruh.
This is crazy right
It's
here.
not for you.
Fucking
Now,
Nazis.
Mr.
bruh.
Kevin Shipp says that this is something that people need to know because it's been so covered up and mocked and berated and claimed to be a conspiracy theory. And he goes on to say, by the way, the term labeling people as conspiracy theorists was invented by the CIA to deflect attention over the JFK assassination. They invented the word as a way to shut down any scrutiny or critical investigation of what they were doing. Yo,
It's
it's
like
a
calling
genius
somebody a
fucking thing.
racist.
Yeah.
Right.
You call somebody a racist, it shuts down everything.
And that's a CIA dude telling you that. So, in terms of Operation Paperclip, Alan Dulles, CI director, was an associate of Heinrich Himmler of the Third Reich. So Dulles did.
See?
So what Dulles did was when the Third Reich was brought down, he was secretly brought He secretly brought all the top Nazi scientists into
Started
the
picking 'em out,
U.S.
bruh.
He falsified their files that he gave to Harry Truman, making it look like they weren't any war crimes. They brought these Nazi scientists into the CIA to work for the CIA, and that includes the human experiments they conducted on Jewish men, women, and children, and psychological studies that these Nazi scientists have done. The CIA was using their expertise for these programs through Operation Paperclip. And then this was a Nazi, much of cult beliefs that the CIA adopted and actually put these fucking people on their payroll.
It's like the CIA looked at this fucking contract written by the Nazis and said, like what you done here, here. No, let's take this out, but we're gonna keep this, and this, and I think we have a deal.
Not subtle.
Dude,
Did you see-
I mean, that's where I'm hooked, Mike. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Okay, so if that's legit shit, which obviously it is because we hired him and shit and put him on our
Makes
payroll.
perfect sense.
Bro, did you see that? I think we brought it up on the podcast. The German dude that was fucking torturing people and fucking slicing off women's breasts and shit.
Is this recent?
It's I don't know if we talked about it or if I just talked about it with other people. There's a Netflix
think-
thing about him and I think his name was Ivan the Terrible. And he's
Damn.
he got caught up because he was fucking around. He would like torture people, and then they found out who it was. Bro, they brought him back. I think it was here. I think I brought it up here, and then they brought him back to trial over in.
We were
Israel.
talking about the Mossad.
Yeah, and they brought him back to try him. To think that
I do remember that now.
motherfuckers don't forget, bro.
So out of the program, Operation Paperclip, came MK Ultra. And the church committee, MK Ultra, came out as an actual program of mind control using mental, physical, and sexual abuse and psychotropic drugs. Some people claim that they were put asleep for 23 days on heavy meds, and every few hours or so, they would receive electric shocks to their brain to keep them from deep sleeping. They replayed voices and noises over and over on a cassette as much as 250,000 times while isolated in these rooms on fucking drugs. These test subjects said that they weren't explained anything and never got their consent. When investigated, they couldn't go any further because the head director, Richard Helms, destroyed all the CIA MK Ultra documents, and they had to rely on the coach witnesses from that point. So they were never able to dig deeper. But when they got what they got was bad enough, and there was no evidence that the program was terminated, no documents, no nothing, not even an admission of the CIA that it's been terminated. I mean, now most people think or assume that mind control shit ended in the 70s. This is what the Brad Martin said. What these individuals are saying is that's bullshit. Brad used Zoolander, for example. Now, this is funny, but it's true.
It's not
He acted...
Zoolander is not in on it, bro.
well,
That's how they sell it. That's how they sell it.
Well, listen, bro.
That's how they got you. Clemmy, you're out of the pond. They got you on Zoolander.
They got you. Yeah, you're out, bro. You just got hooked. You got hooked. You didn't even know this shit.
Later, Clemmy.
Big fish.
So Brad used Zoolander, for example. He acted in the movie, right, and didn't even know it was fucked up until afterward, and he reflected years later, dude. When he said when they show you that they are controlling Zoolander's mind through mind control, you realize that they're trying to desensitize you to make you think what you are watching is fiction because it's Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell, funny stuff. It's a comedy, so it can't be serious. You got you. Got you. You watch a whole movie, you laugh your ass off, and they're just laughing their ass off.
You
too.
just got Inception like a motherfucker. 'Cause they brainwash him, bro. They brainwash him and you at the same time. You're like, oh shit, that can't be real.
But when I'm not like full on watching it, it's like it's like
You
when
don't
it's
know,
on.
but it's in increments,
Yeah,
Clemmy.
it's
It's in
just in
increments. They
increments,
get you little at a time, dude. Unless it's Thunderball, and they just get.
It is
90 minutes got me.
But it's interesting. So at this point, we realize the CIA is funneling info into Hollywood. Hollywood is putting it into movies for the population to eat up. We absorb it like sponges, and it becomes our way of logic to some degree, right? Through default, it becomes our fundamental way of thinking and how we execute our ideas. That's basically what it is. And some people are on devil shit, apparently. Like this guy, Michael Aquino, who is a high-level officer in the NSA. You might know him. He's a practicing Satanist. He created the Temple of Set. You ever heard of that?
Dude's a creepy looking motherfucker.
It's some super devil stuff that's been out for a while. I didn't figure you did, Clemmy. I'm just saying.
Clemmy went to good places on Sunday.
Yeah.
He didn't fuck with that.
I ain't gonna shy away from him. Yeah.
I just figured.
Look at him in the eye.
Yeah.
Face him.
Slicker face him. Okay.
Well, in this documentary, it also had Eddie Murphy riding in a fucking Ferrari with Jerry Seinfeld, and he was telling him how he was talking to Sammy Davis, and he was like, "Oh, the devil is or powerful than, or what did he say?
Yeah.
Satan is more
You can pull it up. We
powerful.
Pull up on
he
your
said
phone.
Satan is powerful as Jesus, and he's just like,
Yeah,
what
he said
the
Sammy
fuck?
Davis told him that shit.
I can
Yeah.
believe
And they
that.
showed Sammy Davis hanging out with this prominent Satanist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you
can
know?
He said that's why you got so many negative people
Oh,
in the
yeah,
world.
that's
he-
easy to believe.
And Eddie Murphy was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And while he was
Hey.
telling Jerry Seinfeld this story, he's just dying laughing, dude. He was just like,
And
"That
guess
shit's
what
funny."
Eddie Murphy probably did?
What?
He imitated him.
Same.
Oh, what?
The same thing, bro.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Who
I mean,
knows?
he was in that moment. He's
Well-
he's desensitizing us to the fact that guess what Sammy Davis told me.
Yeah. Well, the
And y'all love
stuntman-
Sammy, right?
Yeah, y'all know Sammy.
Yeah, stuntman Mike though, he said that of course, man, there's people that are doing it, but he said, but just like anything, there's other people that aren't. You know what I mean? Too. You know what I mean? He doesn't know who, but he knows that.
Please
he knows
don't be
that
that person, Leo.
it's a big audience. It's fucked up.
You got your Jedis and you got your Siths. Right, that's all I'm saying.
That's what they're doing.
But anyway, this Michael Aquino guy, he was plugged in
Gotcha,
big
Mike.
time to intelligence community. He wrote a paper called Mind War. Mind War was an absolute psychological operations against populations, including the American domestic population, using Satanist techniques and tools he studied for 40 years. He was also involved in the MK Ultra operations during Vietnam War as a part of the Phoenix program.
So what were they doing in the Phoenix program?
MK Ultra operation type
So they're
shit. So
doing-
mind control shit.
So what
A
they
shit
grabbing
ton of experiments. What?
on just like when they grab prisoners of war.
U.S. soldiers.
Oh.
Yes, that's why it's fucked up.
Yeah.
So they go on to explain like this place called Laurel Canyon, right? And Mike was driving past this place like almost every day for a while in his career, at the beginning of his career, I think he said. And he never noticed this place until Kevin Shipp hipped him to it. But he started to realize that upcoming stars and current stars, they're all connected to the military in some sort of way. Like it's like a big family fucking tree, whether it's media or White House or military, it's all connected in a fucking way.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have the those bullshit Oscars and the bullshit awards.
Yeah.
You got motherfuckers that never know each other like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh
Right.
yeah, I know of that person.
They just kind of in a
It'd
room
be-
at
yeah.
that point.
Right.
That's how I would see it. It'd be shuffled. It'd be you know someone from someone else.
Right. So he noticed that there was a connection in some sort of way. So go ahead, cut one, Mike.
It's odd because in Laurel Canyon, so many of the soon-to-be stars there, their parents were in either the military-industrial complex or intelligence or the Pentagon. In Frank Zappa's case, his dad was working at Edgewood Arsenal, where they were doing biochem studies, psychotropic, and exposing U.S. troops to VX nerve gas and other things. The family kept gas masks in their house. He grew up with that in case there was an accident. And Edgewood Arsenal was doing this very similar, related MK Ultra projects on U.S. troops. The Gulf of Tonkin is another prime example. The commander of the Gulf Fleet in the Gulf of Tonkin, his son was Jim Morrison. They claimed the USS Maddox was attacked by Vietnamese vessels. It was never attacked. As a matter of fact, they put ghost ships on the radar to make it look like they were Vietnamese ships. The Maddox was never attacked. It was an actual, literal false flag to enable the U.S. to declare war on Vietnam.
So
Hey Mike, good cut,
Oh.
pal.
My fault.
In the false flag of the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yep. So Jim Morrison's dad was involved in the Gulf of Tonkin.
I
and-
did a report on that and did research, like heavy research on that in 1988 for school, and
You use a
no,
Britannica.
and it disclosed it being a farce and all that it was not real, but they never mentioned like that anything about that connection in any research that I got.
Hey Mike,
Was
nice.
that-
That's
nice-
interesting.
Nice cut though.
That's interesting though.
It didn't. It left that part out. I mean, I researched the fuck out of it.
Of course you would leave it out.
But there was no
Well,
internet.
That's yeah,
you
true
would
that
have
too.
to leave it out.
So
You know,
he
paper.
also realized
Really
he
good
also
job.
realized when Kevin Shipp and Michael Smith started getting together about that, he goes, "Oh my God! Well, Lookout Mountain was on top of Laurel Canyon, and it was owned by Jared Leto." To stunt guy Mike's discovery, he was like, "Dude, shit's getting weird. All right, there's a lot of connections. We're starting to see all this shit right now, and it's weird how this is all playing out. Especially fast forward to today, where we see how it played out, like the Gulf of Tonkin and all that shit. It's fucking coincidental right there. Cut 2.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all. Man, you know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
I fucking love that guy.
Okay.
George
Beautiful.
Carlin is the man.
We'll be back.
Beautiful.
Welcome back, Lion Podcast. Motherfucker in the house. So is it getting juicy yet or what?
Hey, man.
It's pretty interesting so
Yeah.
far, right?
It's a good listen.
Yeah. Then Kevin Shipp, right? He broke Stuntman the news, man. Mike the news about the pedophilia problem in Hollywood, and Mike didn't want to believe it, but we got Kevin Shipp cut 3. Mike.
Most people don't want to cross the psychological line that this stuff is going on. And we all have a mental defense mechanism. It's like finally admitting there's an elite pedophile ring. I mean, most people just don't want to go there. And the same is here. Psychologically, you lose your safety, your security, and whatever innocence you have when you realize that this stuff is really going on. And it's a chore to cross over that barrier and realize, oh my gosh, this stuff is really happening. And that's why it takes critical thinking. The people have got to look at this stuff critically and see what they're being fed so they can cross that psychological line that they just refuse to see it when it's right in front of them.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't want to believe that shit, man. So you block it out. It's just like your girlfriend leaving you or cheating on you or something, and you got a piece of evidence, but you don't want to acknowledge it like you should.
The first thing that came to mind was rough childhood.
Right.
You kind of neglect it.
Yeah.
And then for some reason or another, it always bothers you or fucking like lingers around.
It's interesting you said childhood. Kevin Shipp also has a quote where he says, under MK Ultra, they experimented on children and was even taught in psychophysiology programs. If you get to a child between the ages of 1 and 6 or 1 and 8, especially with sexual abuse or sexual trauma, you will split their personality and they will be imprinted for the rest of their life, and many times results in split personality and disassociated behavior and other things. So,
Dude, just imagine those people having a life if they survive and
Right.
they have a child themselves.
right.
Just that vicious cycle.
Yeah. They also make another good point where they're like, hey, step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. Compare the ancient times to today. Back then we had demigods and gods, and they were like Achilles, Hercules, Apollo, Mercury, and all these, were demigods and what everybody looked up to. And well, today, fast forward to today, we have all these people like Jay-Z, Rihanna, Beyonce, and then in the film we got Brad Pitt and and we put these big stars we prop them up on these big stages and these big pedestals and stuff, and we look at them like they're gods and demigods. So that was a big point that I believe that was Stunt Mike that made that point, and it was pretty interesting. But back to the pedophile thing. So enter Liz Crokin. She's a kick-ass journalist that now she comes into play because of the pedophile thing. You're gonna know because she's the only thing that's been reporting that for the longest. So
she's
they wanted
bold.
Yeah, she is a I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna be. She's that honest one that you're not breaking the honesty shit. Where she's
the
just
friend you love to hate or hate to love. You gotta pick one. It's like fuck.
Yeah, she's a kick-ass journalist that got her start at 17 years old. She studied political science at Iowa, became a White House reporter, went on to work at the Chicago Tribune, covered all sorts of shit, and never had a problem until the day she covered Pizzagate. Now, what is Pizzagate?
Not Papa John's, motherfucker.
28-year-old Edgar Welch was arrested in Washington Sunday afternoon outside Comet Ping Pong, a popular family pizza parlor. D.C. police say Welch fired at least one round into the restaurant floor with an AR-15 rifle like this one on his Facebook page. No one was injured.
Someone on Twitter, whose name remains unverified but has several thousand followers, posted that new emails found on Anthony Weiner's computer confirmed that Hillary Clinton was involved in a pedophilia ring. The rumor spread, inspiring some newfound internet sleuths to start digging around in John Podesta's hacked emails, searching for proof and location of the so-called sex ring.
In those emails, they are absolutely littered with code words. And many of these code words are food words, such as pizza.
Somebody said to me, "Hey, Dave, search for pizza in Podesta's emails." And once you go down that rabbit hole, you never really emerge the same person.
It was obvious from the get-go that these words were code words for something else because the context that they were used in did not make sense.
To be clear, not one single email in the Podesta emails discusses child sex trafficking or pedophilia. That is a fact. But there are dozens of what seem to be strangely worded emails dealing with pizza and handkerchiefs. Investigators say that those words in the emails about pizza and the talk of handkerchiefs is code language used by pedophiles.
There is some kind of code language. They're just not talking.
So basically what we have there is a bunch of disgusting shit, but John Podesta, Hillary and all that shit, it's a big fucking scandal, and basically what happened was it got ugly. So we're gonna go right to cut 5.
So many people in the mainstream media have said Pizzagate is a conspiracy theory. Pizzagate has been debunked. It has not been debunked. If it's been debunked, explain the code words. No one to this day, including John Podesta himself, can explain the code words in his emails.
Hey, John Podesta, can you please explain why you have children rented for entertainment for your adult hot tub parties? No one has ever explained why John Podesta has literal pedophile and cannibalism paintings all over his office and his home. Tony Podesta too.
And we'll go straight to cut 6.
And it's the same fear, mind control, and you'll be destroyed if you get into the upper elites. And if you get to that point, if you start revealing anything, they have the same system to completely destroy you, destroy your career, blackmail you like Epstein, keep you, catch you, film you in compromising positions, and this goes both within Hollywood and celebrities and some of the elite, and it also goes on in Congress and the Senate. And if they even insinuate that they're going to reveal some of these things, they're done.
That's crazy right there. So and then the media also lied, saying that they can't look at the emails too. That was another thing that they actually came on. I think it was Como. They said that. Como came on there and said that, hey, you cannot look at these emails. It is illegal, and you will be arrested.
And they actually
or they could come
said,
for you.
and he said, we will decide.
Yeah, and we will decide.
Yeah, you lose the option.
Yeah, it's kind of like
that's kind of what we got going on. Sound like.
So they go on to say people that blow the whistle on elite pedophiles tend to have accidents. So those people have died mysteriously. Jeff Epstein, obviously, for example. But next up, we got Keith Raniere. The founder of NXIVM is another example of how these elite pedophile rings exist. It was a massive organization funded by really wealthy people, including the Seagram heiresses, Nancy Salzman and Claire Bronfman. This cult also engaged in human torture experiments on some members, and a lot of techniques that they see in that cult are very similar to the techniques that our government used in the MK Ultra program. So... Also, Allison Mack from Smallville was a part of that, and they were running preschools down in fucking Mexico.
Wow.
So yeah, I never watched that, but I hear that
radar.
she's a big star. In that. Have you watched Smallville?
Yeah, I was a fan.
You know Allison Mack?
Yeah, she got in trouble.
Yeah, I mean that's what I just
No,
said.
I'm saying though, no, like
before that?
No, from that, like going off what you're saying.
Yeah,
not like trouble, like jaywalking. Like that bitch she was moving some shit. She was supposedly recruiting and doing all that. It was
that's
wicked.
That's
but
why I put.
I don't know if it was before or after Smallville. That's all. That's.
Oh,
I think it was after. I think it was after because the picture she showed it looked pretty fucking late. She looked young on the.
Always the quiet ones, bro.
But you gotta be careful of.
But before, thank God, Kevin Raniere got locked up with compelling evidence. They said 15 years to possible life. So, and he'll probably get the lighter sentence of that because who runs the game? Yeah. Who runs the game? But there was compelling evidence, though, and you only get 15 years. That's how light we are. Just put that in perspective alone. You could box that out and just say there's something wrong with that. Okay? Where we just put a person away that just got convicted of all that shit. I think it was like 90 people came forward or some shit.
And said at some point that
no, dude, he had people branding his initials on them, bro.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Straight up sex cult, bro.
Right.
The motherfucker is fucked up, dude, to the 10th power, bro. Like he is Satan himself and shit. Like 15 years?
Yeah.
Get rid of this motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's a slap on the wrist.
It is.
It's like, you're not that much of a bad guy.
Right. But to them,
they tried to fool you with the possible life thing.
They just caught like 90 people sleeping.
So their overall message in this whole thing is truth is learned, never told. So, you know what I mean? And dude, that shit right there was just like, holy fuck, man.
You got to be aware, man.
Yeah. I mean, dude. I mean, even in the cartoons, bro, they say the sex in PG-13 movies or the violence in cartoons or the trauma. Why does a character almost have to die in every Disney movie? You know what I mean? It's true. Yeah. It's true. You could think about every single fucking movie, Disney movie you've seen.
Did this shit start with Tom and Jerry beating the shit out of each other?
It might have.
I don't know.
That could have been the increment. Yeah,
Mickey Mouse
that was violent.
That shit came out in the 40s.
That was violent too. They used to do some fucked up shit to each other.
Yeah, with that Disney, every time like I throw in my 2 cents, it's always an Animal Kingdom because I see for real, dog. Because I see those fucking animals that killed Simba because they got them out in the wild. I always yell at them. Just because they always got me sad when I was little.
The wild hyenas?
No, not the hyenas.
Who killed them?
Fucking jackals.
Nah,
wildebeest?
Dude, the
That's
wildebeest.
sad
Yeah,
that
the
I've never
wildebeest.
seen Lion King. I need to get up on my cartoon movies, bro.
Bro, listen.
I don't be fucking with cartoon
Listen,
movies
when
too
they
much.
show death for the kids,
man.
and that shit hit me technically right, but really wrong. Every time I see them in Animal Kingdom, I get a holla. I'm like, yeah, I paid my ticket.
And he's 29 years old.
Bro, I paid my annual pass. You're going to hear my fucking voice, bro. We walked through. I see the wildebeest, and I was like, you motherfuckers
the
killed
cartoons,
Simba. You motherfuckers.
The last fish got caught with the cartoon.
Oh, that's how they got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I'm
got
balls deep in it now. It's like, yo, the mouse got me, bro. I'm so upset. It's like the only mouse that has a good trap. And the churros are expensive.
Yeah.
Pisses me off, bro.
But the fact that the CIA got to build an office in Hollywood and that it's that far to that extent.
You think Disney will ever get capped?
No.
What do you mean?
Like they own only 90% of everything.
Right.
So
So how are we going to undo that?
capped? Because you remember when I think it was fucking like Sam's Club and like Health Foods or some shit, U.S. Foods try to merge. They're
Right.
like, nope, that's monopoly. It's like, bitch, Disney owns everything.
Right.
What are you talking about, monopoly? You can't
Right.
even play a commercial on ABC without getting fucked on ESPN because they own both.
That's so true.
So it's like, what do you mean monopoly, bro?
Well, that's what they were talking about in the documentary, where they were like, they want you to think you got options.
But it's not.
oh,
but-
that's a scary part.
Yeah, but
that's the
if
scary
it's
part.
but if they're dictating or being the then if they're dictating what the content that comes on, then what is it?
That's force feeding you at its finest, bro.
Right.
That you think you're getting the
It's so
healthy side of
smooth.
it.
It's so smooth. They're just sliding it in there.
Do you
Just
think-
little
do you think you-
increments.
Little bit by little bit.
They got options A through double Z, and you just went from A to B.
Guys, I thought I was crazy when I was watching this, so I was like, that's
No,
why I
you're
wanted
not
you guys
crazy.
to
No,
watch it,
well,
because I was
that's
like,
why-
I don't know if they're gonna agree with
I'm
me.
ready
man.
to dive into it because I want to see what Mike thinks. Mike, do you base it differently now? Like besides this,
Based
like
what differently?
Yeah,
the,
what
the information you get. Like not only, I'm not even talking about what we heard and what was quoted today.
I think the
like from
satanic shit is
you
weird.
from you growing as a person in general. Do you take a step back and it's like, fuck, man, like can I go based off of that? Can I say that's real? Can I hold that in my bag and then bring it back to fight with? You know what I mean? To go to war at a different conversation for something. Can you use it?
I'm not quite sure what you're saying.
So if you're watching something on CNN, right, and do not believe anything on Facebook, but if you did for whatever reason,
don't believe in anything on
how
CNN either.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what, but I don't want to use Facebook as the example of like that's where the fuck you're getting your news from.
Right.
But if you did for whatever reason and say I'm air quoting they were right, do you analyze it differently now? Because now you got social media outlets that you have to take into account.
No, I mean, I always kind of felt like I had a knack for sifting through the bullshit like that, and I don't get caught up in the game. I mean, we all do at certain levels, but my
Yep.
levels,
Right.
believe me, is minimal. And
That's awesome.
I think that's the idea, though.
I kind of
Pick and choose.
I think
pick
Mike's
and
right.
choose and dissect and try to see through the shit because it's all a polished turd.
Would you take
Yeah,
that? Would you
I
take
think-
that as healthy though? Would you take that as is that a healthy way of doing it?
It's the only
Picking
way.
and choosing.
I think you can never know if it's what's right or wrong, but you can know that deception lies out there. So you have to be wise and open minded on every decision or thought or something that's trying to be sold to you. You have to just you have to remember that
And awareness, yeah, like
before-
I said,
Stay
like
aware.
watch out for
Right.
the smoke and mirrors act because they're good at that. You know, the art of deception.
Because what I get nervous about, and it's with all the outlets, I don't give a fuck what they say. I give a fuck of how it's spread. Like the TV can say whatever it's
But how
stated,
it's-
but if
Conject-
Clemmy
taking
starts
it
like,
in.
yo, I just saw this shit on that blah blah blah, it's like, oh fuck,
Yeah,
man.
but we know now that there's a real pedophile ring out there, right?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
we've
that's
proven
not-
that.
Well, not
Oh,
even
yeah.
pedophile,
Be
just
disputed.
bad information from a corona information from a pedophile
Well, yeah.
from
But
Jeffrey
then it
Epstein.
goes
Like
even-
Epstein is the thing that you say you fucked up, government. Like
Right,
you-
but I
you
like to
take that
focus
heart.
on solids, and if we could save kids, that's an awesome solid.
Right.
Because,
But
dude,
what-
there's some real
Even
bad
bigger
shit
than
going
that,
on.
man. It comes down to between good and evil. You're talking satanic cults and Satan in Hollywood and dictating what society thinks. That's what I'm
crazy,
talking
dude.
about,
Like,
you know?
people with-
it's bigger than that. It's
Yes.
it's a battle against the evil.
Yo, that dude said he's been to mad parties, and he realized, like, to the point where it scared him, where he had a fucking moment where he sat there and goes,
thought
"Holy
about
shit!
it, yeah.
I've been ignoring this the whole time, and this lady's praying over me, saying she feels like there's dark energy and spirits over me." And then I tell her, "Hey, you're crazy," and then she says, "Hey, I've healed people that come in and do their satanic rituals to kids, little boys and little girls, and then grown people. Who do you think puts them back together? It's very real, and you need to look into it."
Yeah, that
She
was
looked him
wild.
right in his eyes
She
and told
said
him that.
who puts them
Dude,
back together?
and-
That shit was crazy.
and he was like, "Holy shit!" So either she's batshit crazy or she's real about this. Now, dude, I mean, and it was enough for him to sit there and have a moment and reflect and go, "Damn!" and think about all that art and all the evil
All the
shit that he
times
saw
he-
and all the stuff he just kind of let go by and was
It's
like, "Oh, he's
bizarre
probably just
stuff.
weird
Does
or whatever."
Does anybody here watch the news?
I watch the news.
You do watch the
Yeah,
news?
yeah.
Like you don't set for it, but you'll flip through and
No, I
you'll give
watch-
it like a half hour, 40-minute watch.
Yeah.
I watch local news.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
I used to when I was younger.
National
but
news, I really steer clear of it.
I watch. I'm like a news junkie though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean anything national, I'll get in the local news because they always touch on what's important in the national news. But
Do you ever?
But it's also entertaining. There's like I'd laugh at that shit too. It's like the bullshit part of it.
I was just gonna ask Clemmy that. Do you ever dissect it and like?
Oh yeah.
You'll be like,
that's
get
why
the
I watch.
fuck
That's
outta
why I
here.
watch
and
everybody.
Then, and then you'll be like, oh.
Yeah.
So
No,
you said-
I watch from. I'm not just like saying I'm an MSNBC or
Yeah.
CNN. I watch Fox. I watch MSNBC. I like my dad. My dad growing up. My dad listened to Rush Limbaugh.
So you just getting lied to from everybody.
No, it's, not, it's that, but it keeps your mind open so then you able to see everybody's viewpoint. Because
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking,
But if they're all exaggerated viewpoints, then there's no real viewpoint at all.
Basically, the
But
dissection is.
But if you think about it, it's like for me, for myself, if you're trying to be aware, now you can see it before it get to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you were in that situation, you looking at it from like, okay, if I'm looking at Fox, I know they're skewed. If I'm looking at CNN, I know they're
Yeah,
skewed.
but to what degree? You don't know what
That's
degree.
that's what I was going to.
So it's all bullshit. You don't
regardless,
know
you're
where
getting
it is.
We understand you're getting your own opinion, but you're not basing it off of.
But all those skews create policy.
So then you'll take it and you'll mold it
That's true,
into
too.
what you.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it from, okay, if I'm a business person and I'm trying to take the policy, like right now, if you're a small business owner.
Just tell me you're going to start watching news less after today.
No.
That's all I want to hear.
Well, no, I would say watch it less. Here's the dissection process. You have to be able to just take the facts like this. Say whatever the president was in London today and for this meeting, and this is how shit turned out. I don't want to hear how people think when they get into that shit. That's when I turn it off. It's like I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. I'm gonna get my own opinion. I just want the fucking facts, and that's what you take from the news, and that's the benefit of watching multiple news channels. You take the facts.
You know what would be nice?
And being able to recognize the facts.
I watch them. I just shit on them.
No, I don't. I gave up because my dad grew up with politics.
Well, depends on what your definition of watch is.
Well, no, what I was going to say was Shannon Sharp watches football games without the commentators because he doesn't want to be pushed into a one direction of how he sees the game.
Right.
He wants to be able to watch it and see it. Fuck, that would be a beautiful day if you could watch politics like that.
Yeah, that would.
Right? You like to watch a debate and you can see, and if you're good enough, you can see like body language.
Yeah.
You can see facial
Because-
emotions, and they have them panned always. You let them talk, and it's hard though because they're really talking. It's not like it's a football game,
Yeah.
so it's not like it's a pass. And you can say, "Oh, he read that right." But if you could watch politics debate and see something different,
because it's all showmanship.
Yeah, they're all
and
trying
if you don't
to
be paying
sell, so it'd
if
be
you're not
beautiful to
paying
watch.
attention,
I just thought about that. It'd be beautiful to be able to watch that one time, but it'll be impossible.
No,
I just found crazy how much devil shit was in Hollywood. I didn't know that.
Oh, no,
I didn't know
that's-
that, and I didn't know the
that's
CIA
the
influence.
exception.
I learned a lot of shit throughout that, dude. I learned, and it like heightened my awareness because all that shit that I was talking about Epstein a while ago, I just been going off the fucking dome, dude. I'm reading what I got, and I come on and I get these conspiracy theories. But dude, I was right on that shit, and I don't like to pat myself on the fucking back, but dude, I was calling that shit a long time ago, and then all of a sudden everybody starts putting out these releases about Epstein this and Epstein that, and could it be where there's more? It's like obvious,
It's
motherfucker. Did you
obvious.
see his flight
Yeah.
logs? Like we didn't even cover that in the thing, and it said that like he had like
25.
Yeah, 25 visits from like Clinton, and
No, flew. He flew with
he
him.
flew with him 25 times.
And that's what I brought up when I first came on. I said, you ain't never fly with your parents that many
25
times, dogs.
yeah.
Right.
Now you flying with motherfuckers 25 times. There's only business going down.
Exactly. And then they have the list, and it says 2 people, 2 girls, whatever. And then Podesta's email about the fucking you need for a grown up hot tub party ordering kids
Yeah.
and shit, dude.
That's-
and Hillary
that's-
Clinton, do you think that she's
Oh,
actually?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's interesting,
yeah,
dude.
I
That
believe
she's
that.
actually a fucking recruit, possibly.
I mean,
I believe it.
I
I believe it too because she's still with Bill.
But I believe,
and they got no problems ever.
But I believe all politicians, if you're on that level, you can't be on that level with that
Without being in
kind of
that
dirt.
circle, yeah.
Right.
So if you're gonna say Hillary Clinton, you're gonna have to say Donald Trump.
Oh, I'm saying everybody.
You're gonna have
No,
to
but I'm
say
saying I didn't do
Obama. You're gonna have to say.
Oh, I thought everybody thought that I knew that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
royalty,
saying,
dude. King Alfred.
But I find it more crazy that Hillary Clinton rather than a dude.
No, because but then that's being like genderless.
Even though Hillary's a crazy
No,
bitch,
but I mean,
I
women-
still find that crazy.
Hey, but the real talk.
But I guess the Smallville chick.
But real talk.
Yeah,
talk.
that's even
If
right.
you think about it, it's like throughout history, it's been a lot of women that been like real, like
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi. She a boss. You may
Yeah.
not agree with
Yeah.
her politics, but she a boss. She come in there and what she say, she force it down your throat. So I mean,
She forcing something down
I
people's
mean-
throats apparently.
But I mean,
it's a bunch of fucked up shit going on out
But
there.
I mean, Hillary Clinton, she a boss. If you think you may not like her politics, but I mean, she a boss.
It's all intertwined.
They're all
still
bosses.
moves.
That's the problem. There's too
Yeah.
much money in politics.
It's all
That's the
intertwined.
fucking problem, dude.
Yeah.
We got, and they're all intertwined
Power.
with this fucking
But that's-
Satan.
media,
Child
with the fucking
pornography.
government, with the fucking military.
Yeah.
Jesus God, fuck. What are we gonna do? I mean,
here-
and
and-
Satan.
well, here
and
it is.
Satan on
Listen.
top of that. That's the worst part
The
about it all.
frustration is
And the
that
child
you're
fucking.
powerless
Exactly.
That's it.
as individuals.
Yeah, that's really
As the individual, like, because you think about this shit when you're by yourself or whatever, or in a small group, it's like, damn, well, what can I do? And you know,
I don't think
alone. I
It
think
feels like we're powerless.
Majority, yeah. What,
For now.
what the
Yeah.
fuck am I gonna do about it?
Nothing, right.
We're talking about it.
Right, you're
Putting it in
right.
somebody's
No,
ears.
you're right. You're right. But we're
Putting it out
talking
there.
about it. Right. It's spreading awareness right now. That's
But,
all you can do. But
we gotta overrun the
until we
Capitol.
get whacked. Until we're
No,
done tomorrow.
but being a realist, bro, it's kind of like the society or the system we in. And
Fucking
it's-
kids.
I know, but the only
Yeah,
thing, the only
devil
thing
and fucking kids.
But
If that's your,
that's-
that might be your society, bro. It ain't mine. I'll fight for that.
But I
I'm
mean,
going to war against this shit.
Yeah, for real. Like Mike said before the show, dude. If there's ever a reason to have a revolution, bro, that'd be it right there,
This is
man.
it.
that fucking little.
That'd be it, dude. If we got to go rescue the kids, dude. I said it a long time ago. I said on a show
And
a
it's
long
not
time
that
ago. I
I
said,
agree
dude,
with
fuck
it.
the
I'm just
poopers
like-
because there was people pooping outside my place. I said I don't even give a shit. We got pedophiles to hunt now, dude, and we were on their ass before, and now we got facts to back it up, dude. And I think Mike is sort of right, but he's sort of wrong in the sense that we are coming together now. I think we're heightening awareness.
yeah,
People
I can
are
see that.
actually talking. This documentary was made.
What's the
You know
sort
what I
of
mean?
what's the sort of wrong?
What do you mean?
You said
what's
he's
the
sort
right
of right.
part?
it's
Well, he
sorta
said
wrong.
that we're not. He said he was like, well, I don't think we're going to be able to do nothing about it.
As
Oh,
individuals.
okay.
I think,
but-
I think
oh,
spreading
as
awareness,
individuals.
yeah,
Yeah, as
yeah.
individuals, I
But
don't-
together we can, man,
As the
Together we can
Lion
change.
podcast, we can.
bro. Dude, that's child trafficking, man.
That's
That
not
is
right on the
fucking
whole
not
level.
cool, dude. I will spend the rest of my life trying to make that right. If that's really happening to kids, and
But
that's
it's-
the
but
reason
it's
why
not-
they're getting
but you-
snatched up
but-
like
but-
that.
But what I'm saying is not that it's not if that's really happening. It's really happening, bro.
Yeah, but to what level though? That's still a question mark.
The fact that there was a fuck island is.
Yeah.
That's like,
Well, yeah.
What if we pressure our
Look,
government?
I'm leaning towards fucked up, but you still need, you know,
I don't
you know what I'm saying, dude.
I
You
mean,
don't know
but
exactly where that needle
that's
is
like
on the
trying to quantify
pendulum.
Like try to quantify that. It's like trying to really quantify like something that you'll never understand because you'll never get the facts.
Because we're building a case. Bullshit, dude.
Bro.
The Pizzagate, the fucking, all this shit is building a case for Americans.
But
and if-
all I'm saying is all of this still.
Clement, you're wrong. Let me say something real quick. You're wrong. Because today we're more informed than ever, dude. We got phones and we're
But-
connected now. That's their worst.
But at the same time, how are we going to change it?
We put pressure on our government to
by-
shut
yeah.
this shit down.
That's
And
what
if
I'm
they
saying.
don't do anything
Unify-
about it,
Right.
then they're guilty.
And
Part
unifying,
of
dude.
it.
So if
and
they're-
unifying,
but
making
when
people
they're guilty,
aware.
what happens?
Well, when you make people
You
aware,
move bodies.
They
Right.
get
Stop
they
pushing
get
people out.
exposed.
Right.
They get exposed.
Okay.
You
Dude.
change seats.
I mean, Clement, you're right. It's the powers that be, and
Hey,
you know
man,
we're fighting
I
a war.
understand what
That's
y'all
a big
saying,
war.
but,
No,
yeah.
I know what you're saying
Well,
too. We're
I'm-
fighting
well,
King Kong, and it's not easy.
Yeah. No, I'm just playing this. Yeah,
Yeah, I know because
I get where y'all coming from.
But
as
what
well.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you is
You just pray for us,
To bring
all
your
right?
point to bring your point to like close the book.
Uh-huh.
It's not only to try and shout until you pass out.
Right.
It's to move a seat. Hopefully, it's to hopefully make a change not only with what people know. It's what actually can happen. So I'd rather say, yeah, yo, you're fucked up. We need to do something about it instead of actually just thinking to ourselves and staying quiet.
Right.
Because we have a voice. We have a voice too. And that's the only thing I agree with Corey on.
Yeah.
Like he goes off his rants, but the fact that we as a people have a voice, and we don't get heard by our own government, dude, that's not right.
That's not. Yeah. And I agree with you, but at the end of the day, where I'm coming from is like we're only like at the surface of this thing.
No, because, I know like, us as four people. That's what I'm saying. So where's it gonna go from here? I don't know.
No, and I hope it's a positive thing. You know, I'm for it being positive.
No, I know that, buddy. But I know also what you're thinking. Though we're up against some fucking juggernauts here. But what you're not thinking is, dude, time is like. You know, it's not that long, bro. We live for 100 years, give or take, right? Mm-hmm. So if you take that 100 years, take one of you and stretch it back 4 years, that's 400 years. Time is not that long. This is new stuff. And if we get the information, and phones have only been around for 20 years, bro. So now we're sharing information crazy, and we can get this shit. We can get the information. We can share it with people, as opposed to before they could control us easier because we couldn't communicate with each other. But now we can, dude. Right. And it's harder to do that. We could post shit about you, we could Twitter about you, we could fuck you up, but the thing we have to do, you asked how we do it, we have to unify, man, because if we're divided, we're conquered. Divide and conquer, man. That's why it's easier for them to get away, and that's why they're going to keep getting away with more shit unless we actually do something about it.
There's more of us than there are of them.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't want. And that's why the media is. If you lie right now, Clemmy, well, you probably go to jail anyway because you're black. But if you lie to a cop right now, you're going to jail. Yeah. And if I lie, I'm going to jail. Yeah, it's the way the laws are written. Meanwhile, we turn on the TV and they are lying to us, Clemmy. What sense does that make?
It doesn't make any sense.
That's why it's okay for you to stand up and say that's not right, man. That's not okay. That's not okay. You're misinforming people that are just normal people. That's how they get their information, man. They don't have a social circle. They turn on the TV and they get their information from the fucking TV.
That's a lot of people.
And that's a lot of people, dude.
That's going to take a whole new string of martyrs.
And they play off those people.
I would love to have like a super plug to just have the know-how of information to just give it how it is.
Just exactly how raw it is. Be like, this going on right here, right
here. And not bash people, like to bring sports into it, not to shit on a quarterback, not to shit on a running back, a basketball player, but just to tell you the open part of it and just to bring it to your attention. And then you can do whatever you want. It pisses me off that I can't watch something without there trying to be a direct connect of trying to make someone bad or trying to make someone good, trying to shed light, trying to close the door on them.
Enhance it somehow, right?
Yeah, it kills me all the time.
One thing that like really, changed my mind of how I look at it and why going back to why I watch a lot of different news, because when I went over to Dubai and I was watching the news over there, bro, like in the wars, like like when we get CNN, they show you like a quick clips. You may see almost the same shots.
They show you the same shit.
Nobody really getting hurt, and they give you what they want you to see.
Yeah. And they do it in other countries too.
No, bro, I'm watching news, bro. They showing people getting. I'm talking about bust down. I'm like, shit. And I'm like,
that's news.
That's news. That's the truth. That's really what happened in war. So that's what I'm saying. It's like. We scream. We want to see it.
Did you see? Oh fuck! I forgot who
it was.
They
desensitize us to it.
Yeah.
Somebody. So
then you don't.
Some news channel. It's not funny. I'm laughing at the fact that they had the balls to do this. Some news channel used footage from Italy to show the hospitals and like the bodies and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No shit.
You motherfuckers, bro.
Oh, yeah. It's all optics, bro.
There's a lot of that going on. Yeah.
It's all optics.
And then they'll be like, "Oh, in New York," and is this? It's like, yo, we're in that's in Italy, dude. What are you doing?
But if they could get,
if they scare you, they change your mind. You're out buying all the Charmin in the fucking world.
Yeah. If they could get you to like freak out in that moment and not think about what's going on and stay, closed in.
Because remember, before, like 2 weeks ago, you didn't have to worry about a mask. Now they're saying you got to wear a mask.
Yeah, it's going to be an order going out. Yeah. But now, when
they don't fucking just say you don't know, bro. That's another thing. just say you don't fucking know.
Yo, one thing I don't know, I wanted to talk about before we get out of here. So OJ Howard from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is in a trade rumor, right?
It's a rumor.
Yeah, there's rumors. Was that on the radio? Where did you do?
I'm sorry, you're talking about the Bucs. I gotta play it.
I can only talk about Bucks with good hype music.
Come on, man.
I don't know if you
Some
have
Bucks in
any.
the house, man.
I was trying to
Brady in the
Bucks out
Bay,
here.
baby.
True that.
Brady in
You
the
trying to-
Bay,
that.
baby.
Oh, I got good news too. It's a possible potential rumor.
Let's bug this up.
Brady in the Bay, baby.
So there's a rumor going on that the reason he's up for trade is Mr. Gronkowski is going to make an entrance back in the NFL.
That's a bold statement.
That's a bold statement.
At Brady's
That's
side.
a real bold statement.
That's bold.
Coming
That's bold,
for the
Cotton.
ride.
What's the source?
Tampa fucking Bay, baby. I really want a Super Bowl ticket. So if anybody wants to take me, I'm down.
Me too. I see.
Yeah.
What's your source on this?
What is my source?
Yeah, what'd you hear?
My brother.
That's
yeah,
a good
my
one.
my brother knows everything.
Those are hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes
Really?
brothers,
You missed?
Sometimes hit and miss. My brother be telling me some stupid shit, and then sometimes I'll be like,
I don't
"Oh,
know.
for real?"
Your brother's pretty
My
spot
brother's
on.
a fucking
Yeah,
genius
yeah.
about this shit, dude. He should have been. He missed his calling. He should have been in the sports some way, shape, or form. He knows everything. He knows too much.
So
honestly,
he's saying your brother.
he's not even fun to talk to because he beats me up in conversations. I'm like, you fucker.
Your insider source is saying that they're getting rid of OJ Mayo to bring Gronkowski.
Oh wait.
OJ Howard.
Don't you?
OJ Howard.
Wait,
I keep calling him the basketball player.
You always call him OJ
I
Mayo.
know.
Wait, we have to say allegedly.
Alleged.
That's the word. That's the word of the
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I like that word anyway.
But that
Allegedly.
must
Our embedded reporter.
But that must mean Brady done through with OJ and like, nah, I don't know about this cat.
Or they
Or
need.
Brady's a racist.
I don't think
Brady's
so,
a
bro. I don't think so.
racist.
Nah, man.
No, but true story though.
Imagine.
Cameron Brate, they might just be noticing that Cameron Brate's the man.
Is
You know what I
Cameron
mean?
Cameron Braid black or
And
white?
they could get right now before OJ
Is Cameron Braid black or white?
before they
No, he ain't trying to turn the Bay into
Before-
New England
Corey's
number
trying to
two.
ignore. He's ignoring me.
before
He
they
hears
let
me.
it's a funny joke. Before they let OJ Howard get too far, they want it. He's good trade bait right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What are they going to get for
But
him?
they
They're gonna get a fucking Gronkowski in that bitch regardless.
Another white guy.
Gronk's got nothing to do with the trade.
I don't
dude.
know. No, he don't have nothing to do with the
No.
trade. But
No.
I don't know who they're gonna get. Probably more offensive line or defense.
Dog, imagine. Side note, imagine the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, is a fucking racist. That would be so hilarious. I don't even know what the fuck to
Bro,
say.
what is wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm just bullshitting right now. I'm freestyling. Imagine the
great.
GOAT is
That
like,
goat is a racist.
bro, you can't even
The
say in
repats.
you can't
Yeah.
even say in the same breath.
Well,
I like Tom Brady.
there was
And
a
you gotta
rumor-
say, oh, the
Racist
racist.
Tom Brady?
There was a rumor going around that he was a big Trump supporter, and that wasn't true.
Yeah, but that's
I
that
found
doesn't
out.
mean
That
you're
don't mean
racist.
you're racist.
So what?
No, but it's
You're
just
gonna-
funny how the media
no.
twists
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
but
They
that's-
always twist
Well,
shit.
so
That's
what?
information.
So what?
Yeah.
Who cares what he thinks?
Yeah.
No, my
You're allowed-
my
you're
proof.
allowed to.
No, my point was.
So,
he's
you,
how
so
it
what you
was.
saying? He out there looking at Antonio Brown, be like, "Nah, I'm going to Gronk.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit, Antonio Brown's wide open. Gronk quadruple coverage. He got this. But but yo, Corey, it's funny you say that because as much as we're talking about force feeding information, Tom Brady being a Trump supporter, you could easily fucking just say he's a racist. Easily.
What?
I'm saying what we're talking about, the conversation, how the media could twist and turn. Tom Brady just being easily a Trump supporter,
being
you
a
can easily
racist.
say he's a
I
racist because
guess.
of that. No, it's shitty that that's what
they
could turn
they
from.
manipulate everything, dude.
It's
So who
fucking
knows what their
so
agenda is?
dumb.
But
So
So dumb.
petty.
yeah, God bless him. But I'm just excited if Gronk comes. And there's no fucking way Brady would ever be a racist. Have you ever heard
throwing
that
to
man
Mike
talk?
Evans.
Have you ever heard that man talk? He's just so like he's the chillest motherfucker, dude. He's well put together, dude.
I wonder if you love this bunch of Tom
Oh,
Brady
I heard
before
the
he came to the Bucks.
Did anybody hear the Howard Stern
that's a good
conversation?
question.
Did anybody hear the Howard Stern
No.
conversation?
I did at
Fuck
work.
you.
I did at work. It was annoying because they had like 10 different fucking problems.
Brady
trying to
did
talk.
not give him anything.
But it was he did when it came to like when you had to move and how to try to figure it out because of his kids. So not football, but in depth of the move. It was kind of cool to check it out.
He got a little personal when he was telling him about the close to argument he was getting in with his woman early when he was getting concussions and shit. And before he said it was pretty rough, he had to pay more attention to her. And he was all about his sport and everything like that. That was pretty personal. Yeah. But Brady, but that still wasn't nothing.
not
that
right.
wasn't eating
Brady not gonna be
avocado
telling
ice cream
you,
out of his
like,
out her asshole.
Yeah. That would have been wicked.
No, but they weren't there either. Like, see, I thought Brady was gonna be in the studio. He wasn't there. It was a phone call, and Howard fucking fucked it up. Somebody fucked it up, dude. They dropped the call like 6 or 7 times before Brady had to call back. They had to actually call him back and just say, dude, I am sorry. You could tell Howard was pissed, bro, but they dropped the ball big time on that shit, dude. I was even like, dude, what the fuck, dude? After like the 4th and 5th drop, I'm like, dude, Brady's probably not gonna call your ass back. He's like, fuck this.
Brady's
dude.
about to call Kimmel.
But he's super.
Hey, Kimmel, what you doing?
Yeah.
Get this interview,
Hey, bro,
baby. Shout out,
interview.
hot.
He's super excited about Tampa, and I'm super excited about him.
But
And
if Gronkowski
I've always loved Brady.
But if
Clement, don't
Gronkowski
come at
comes,
me.
no, but I don't know if you were salivating. You know, he's like, have you noticed his hair?
Salivate.
Man, is there a side war going on between him and Belichick? You know, okay, so but Brady's showing his hand.
Yeah.
You know, but what's Bill going to do? Is he going to get Cam Newton, and is he going to be a contender?
What if he
is
get Cam
is he
Newton
going
and
to
OJ
win?
Mayo?
Is he
OJ
building
Mayo.
some secret fucking army right now?
Yeah, of course he is.
I'm just saying, you know,
of course
like,
he is.
that's
Dude,
gonna
you,
be.
you never count Uncle Bill out.
I don't think it's
Uncle Bill ready to go.
I would know how ready he is if what depends on what kind of quarterback.
I think it's an ego thing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It's a battle of egos.
It's like Bill Belichick try to beat Kobe and try to kick him and try to kick Shaq out.
Yeah, but if Brady wins and beats him in Tampa,
that's deadly.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, let's go. Let's go.
Hey, salute.
I'm down for that, dude.
Yo, if you had to choose right now, you're a diehard Buck fan. If Brady goes to the Super Bowl and loses, you're okay with that?
What do you mean?
He's so sad.
No, I'm not okay with
That's
that.
the only.
Why are you saying that, Omar? It's not going to happen.
If that's the only option, though.
Did you see my face?
The max.
No. What's my other option? What's B?
Option B: no division title, no 10-6, like you said.
Nothing?
No, nah.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I want the Super Bowl visit at least.
Yeah.
That sucks though.
They pull a Cleveland Browns.
I'll still be pissed.
Yeah.
I'll be like, man.
I think you would have to. You would have to.
Yeah, I'd be so mad.
But if Grunt come,
If we go that far and lose.
Gronk come, Brady's a racist.
If we lose to Mahomes, yo,
somebody go pick that up.
Yo,
I hope not.
yo, he's only doing
idiots.
that because I said his girl got a stinky patootie. J-Lo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's still mad.
He's
about
bashing.
J
He's
to the
bashing
L to
my
the
Brady
O.
because I
You
bashed his J-Lo.
Messing with Jenny.
Hold on. Here we go.
You talking about Selena, pa?
One time for O.
She still held Diddy out.
Yo,
Ask Diddy now.
not that popping.
Bro, you fucking respect Selena.
Oh, you know what though? I did have something to say on that after I thought about it later. Jay-Z and Dre are more rich, that's true, but they weren't back then.
No, they're
He
not.
was the richest in the game. Him and Master P were the ones killing it back then.
Who, Diddy?
Yeah,
Diddy
back
was,
then, yeah, he
Diddy
was the
was
richest in the
drinking
game.
Chris and
He was
Fuck
stealing
that,
all
bro.
Biggie's money.
I was just gonna
He was
say
stealing
that.
all Biggie's
That's what
money
it was.
and fucking
He remixed
J-Lo.
Diddy shit like 80. I mean, he remixed Biggie shit like 80 times, bro.
Hey,
As he
So
should
many
have.
albums.
got paid every
He
time.
needs 80 mo.
Fuck you, bro. You don't do that. Go make
King got a remix.
Bro,
He died.
Bro, you know what analogy I'm gonna use? That's like right now Belichick can't find a new quarterback. You know it's Brady. You know it's Brady.
Hey, you
Just
think
like
Brady
you find
calling
somebody
people
else.
like if you
you're
go
like,
there-
you're like, oh, Diddy, you found. Oh wait, Biggie. Oh, you got the remix to Biggie. Oh, you got the remix to Biggie.
But who is Mike's right? Who are they going with up there?
I haven't heard.
They're gonna go
anybody
with
yet.
Diddy's gonna go with Dylan.
No, I'm talking about Belichick for the
Spit hot
quarterback.
fire,
He
man.
spits hot fire. Oh, I don't know.
Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan.
I spit hot fire.
I spit hot fire.
Yo, that fucking
guy's
was a
the
good
best.
show though. I watched that fucked
So
up
did
show.
Yeah.
Made
I
him go-
watched
go
that.
get
That
a
was an
fucking
awful
cheesecake,
Dude,
dog.
he made him walk to fucking Brooklyn to get some cheesecake.
Cheesecake, you fucks.
That's when somebody's getting their ass whooped and I'm dropping off the
No,
show.
that's when you want a deal from the record label.
That's
Like,
true, too.
You find me a set of
That's true.
left-handed golf clubs from a midget.
Yeah, or
Right.
Dave Chappelle makes him
Chappelle.
go get
Yeah.
100% Cambodian breast milk.
Oh
So good, bro.
Well, Hopefully we entertained you with our crazy ass shit.
Stay safe, people.
Yeah.
Peace.
Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
Social
and don't
distance.
leave the fucking house. Stay home.
Thank
Shout out Hero of the Day, all the service members, frontline motherfuckers. We love you. Keep working hard. We know you're working hard. We see you out there, and everybody else, all the countries. Hold it down.
Much love.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Be a part of the Pride on the People's Network. Please subscribe.